Good afternoon, everyone. So today we will be doing another lecture in aircraft systems and control. So today's topic is fly-by-wire systems. Yesterday in the class we have seen about the different types of power assistance systems. So we have said that if the aircraft performance need to be improved, then the aircraft need to be larger. The control surfaces are going to be heavier, and the force required is also going to be much higher. And the pilot alone cannot do the job or cannot deflect the control surfaces manually. So therefore, power is required. Power assistance systems need to be present in the aircraft so that it would have that particular control over the deflection or a better deflection of the control surfaces. So as such, we have seen that there is a mechanical hydro controlling systems or mechanical hydro assistance systems we have seen. That is the first one. So the first one would be power assistance using mechanical signaling. And the second one is electronic or digital signaling. So in the first one, the mechanical signaling, we've said that the moment the pilot gives input with the control column, like if the aircraft need to have a nose-up movement, then the pilot is going to give input to the control column, and from the control column, the input is going to be passed into the mechanical systems. Either now, when you say mechanical systems, it could be push-pull rod systems, or it could be cable and pulley systems, or cable and pulley systems along push-pull rod, the combination of both, right? So the inputs from the control column need to be passed to the either push-pull rod systems, and from the push-pull rod system, the information of the signal has been passed to the hydraulic cylinder. Then we see an actuation in the control surfaces, and then there is a output which is the pitch up or pitch down or anything. If we're talking about the elevator, right? So that is one way. The other more better way is electronic signaling. Right? Now, electronic signaling meaning fly-by-wire systems where the input information from the control column is being passed through signals to transducer to the hydraulic systems or hydraulic cylinder, and then there is an output which is a movement in the nose or in the aileron, right? So that simply is called as, it is termed as fly-by-wire, right? So which implies purely electrically signaled control systems, right? So here, instead of any mechanical control linkage systems, the electronical, digitally, initially it was analog, then it's digital, right? So digital control, where the computer system is going to take care of the inputs, the information, and that information is going to be passed on with a very high redundancy, with safety, reliability, to the output, which is the control surfaces, right? So also it is going to modify the manual inputs of the pilot in accordance with the control parameters. So before the information is being passed on to the next lane, the information is properly checked, right? Parameters are going to be checked, accessed, only then there is a output, right? So these are all carefully developed and validated to produce a maximum operational effect without any compromising the safety. So this particular fly-by-wires have been introduced because for a more advancement, it is more advancing, and the weight. The main advantage of the fly-by-wire system is weight reduction, right? So it is able to reduce the lot of weight that mechanical linkage system was taking. Right. Also, there is a higher redundancy to it. There is a higher redundancy. There is a high reliability. Right. More efficiency and more safety. So this fly-by-wires brought its own great advantages, and this was developed in 1970s, right? So initially there was analog technique, right? but then it is completely transformed into a digital, right? So it was first seen in the military aviation, right? Because it was more easy. It was making more easy. So the supersonic Concorde is considered as the first and isolated civil aircraft with fly-by-wire systems. Then again, this has been followed in the Airbus also, Air 320 to other all Airbus series, also in the Boeing 777, right? So this is completely based on the computer signaling process. Now the operation, right? So what happens in the fly-by-wire system is, we'll just see the, yeah. So what happens in the fly-by-wire system is, if output is required, suppose an elevator, right? There need to be a deflection in the control surfaces, right? So that you need to have a pitch up or pitch down moment, right? So the elevators need to be deflected. For the elevators need to be deflected, the initiation starts from the pilot itself, right? The pilot is going to give input, right? So this input is being passed on through the control column, right? So now the information from the control column, which is the what are the pilot requirement is, right? So the information from the control column is being passed on to the next stages through transducer, right? Right. So all the pilot's inputs are passed on from the control column through the transducer, right? So all the signals are being sent, and the signals are being going to send to the flight control systems, right? So all the information, all the signaling that is being passed from the control column to the flight control computers via transducers. Right. So now what flight control systems does is the FCA system. So this FCA system is completely going to access certain parameters. Right. It is going to note down the factors. Right. Before there is a deflection in the elevator, all the factors that are going to be assessed are the height, right? The height, the velocity, let me not say height, let's just say uh, altitude, altitude, airspeed, angle of attack. Okay, so these are the factors. These are the factors that are going to be assessed prior the deflection of the elevator, right? According to the factors, according to the altitude, according to the speed at the aircraft is and angle it is maintaining, according to the information is being passed on, right? Then this information is being processed, and only then there is a hydraulic system that will come into the picture, right? So initially the pilot is going to give the information, right? The information from the pilot is going to be passed on from the control column to the flight control computers through transducer, right? So this information is being passed to transducer, right? And here the flight control computers are going to check several factors, right? For all the several factors, the information, the input, whether it is suitable or not, or how much it is, right? So all the things are being considered here. Then there is a next step that follows, which is the actuation in the control surface, right? Now only then now how the actuation is going to happen in the control surface. There is an hydraulic cylinder, right? The hydraulic fluid is going to move to the different valves. The valve, you have servo valve mechanism. From the different valves it is going to enter into your hydraulic actuators, and the hydraulic actuators are going to actuate the elevator, right? Then the result is the output, right? So the output is output. The output is either nose up or nose down movement, right? Similarly, there is an aileron left or right, right? Now, whatever the output, the result that has been seen here, now this result is being sent a feedback, right? A feedback information is missing. So this is the feedback. Okay. There you have a feedback signal, right? So the output that has been displayed, is the output right or wrong, right? So that information is being sent via feedback from the control surface again back to the flight control computers. Now, what this flight control computers does is it is going to compare, it's going to check whether it is right or wrong, right? So that is checking the things if it is correct or not, so that there is a proper safety or the proper operation or a high performance that is being maintained or not, right? So therefore, the feedback through the feedback, flight control computers are going to check. Now, how flight control computers checks is using the air data computers. Air data computers, ADC, right? So from the air data computers, the bit of static systems, we take the information and we cross check whether everything is being done correctly or not, right? So now, how this particular flyby system is running is the information from the pilot is being passed on to the control column, and the signals from the control column are being sent to the flight control systems via transducer. Flight control computers are going to check several parameters, and only then there is an actuation in the hydraulic circuit, and then there is a reflex in the control surface. And whatever the output that has been attained, that output is going to be cross-checked again via feedback. Again back to flight control systems through air data computers, right? So this is how everything is properly maintained and operated perfectly. But what happens if there is a failure in the computers, right? So if there is so this is what is going to be checked. If there is a failure, right? If the flight control computers have gone, there is something has gone wrong with the system. Then what happens? Because all that are we are reliable on the FCA system, but what if this fails, right? So then you have a backup that is maintained, which is called redundancy, right? So the redundancy, you maintain redundancy in the fly-by-wire aircraft. So that is, if there is a failure of the FCA systems, there is another backup of one more FCA systems to look out, right? So this is how entirely the fly-by-wire is going to run, right? So from the control column, the pilot inputs are being sent from the control column via the transducer, right? So from the transducer, the information is going to pass to the FCS. Right, from the FCS, everything is being factors are being verified, and then there is a moment in the control surface. Right? So yeah, there is a deflection in the control surface which will give you the output. So this is how a fly-by-wire aircraft system is going to be operated. So the main advantage of the fly-by-wire system are its high safety and redundancy. Right. So the aircraft systems may be quadruplexed 4 independent channels in order to prevent the loss of signals, because we cannot take the risk of failure here, right? And also there could be a risk of failure because the information is completely digital. Anything could happen, right? If it is manual, then maybe even manual also there are chances of failure. But if when it is digitally, the pilot doesn't know what exactly is going to happen. That is why we have artificial failure units or trim trap units. So the high performance aircrafts that have fly-by-wire controls are also called as control configured vehicles, right? So these are going to be designed to have a low or even negative aerodynamic stability in some flight regimes, right? The advantages. Now coming to the advantages of fly-by-wire over mechanical is the flight envelope protection, right? So yeah, also there's one more thing. Okay, we don't have the diagram, but then yes. So we know the VN diagram, right? VN diagram, or we call it as flight envelope, correct? Okay. So in this particular VN diagram, every aircraft is going to have its own flight envelope, right? Now, in that limits or in that boundaries only, the aircraft is going to fly, right? So with this particular fly-by-wire systems, fly-by-wire systems are also going to check whether the aircraft is under the flight envelope or not, right? Accordingly, the system is going to make the aircraft better performing or better maneuvering. So the flight envelope protection has also been there. The compressor will reject and tune the pilot's demand that might exceed the if it is exceeding the load factors N, right? if the N is increasing, so N is equal to L by W, right? So if there are any changes in this factor, then there could be a lot of deviations in the aircraft. So always the flight envelope is going to be checked. With the increase of stability and handling qualities across the full flight envelope, including the possibility of flying unstable vehicles, right? The turbulence suppression and the decrease of fatigue loads, right? And the thrust vector augmentation, right? Extending the aircraft flight envelope, drag reduction by an optimized trim setting. So we do have trim tabs here. We discussed this, right? Uh, Trim tab or tuck phenomenon it is called as, right? So trim tabs are there. Higher stability during the release of tanks and weapons. Then easier interfacing to autopilots, the weight reduction, because mechanical linkages are going to be a lot heavier, right, than your flabber valves, right? Maintenance reduction, right, because there is no heavy mechanical control system, so there is no need of heavy maintenance here. Reduction of airplanes pilot training costs, right? So the digital fly-by-wire. Digital fly-by-wire is somewhere, it's similar to analog systems. The signal processing is done by digital computers and the pilot can fly via a computer, right? So this increases the flexibility of the control systems because the digital computers can receive the input from the sensor itself, right? So from the aircraft sensors like altimeters or pitot tubes, you get the information of the altitudes or your static pressure, total pressure, or the dynamic pressure, which will give you the aircraft speed again, right? So these are going to increase the electronical stability, right? The computer is going to read the position and force the inputs from the pilot controls and sensors. They are going to solve differential equation to determine the appropriate command signals. The programming are going to envelope enable the flight protection. So again, the flight envelope is most important, right? So it's always important to be in the limits of Venn diagram or the flight envelope. So the aircraft designers are going to tailor the handling characteristics to stay within the limits itself, and they'll continuously fly the aircraft. So pilot workload can also be reduced here. So pilot has a lot of less work to be done here. Otherwise, if it is a mechanical control linkage systems, then the pilot was supposed to look into each and every individual component of the system. But when it is fly-by-wire system, most of them are taken care of. It is redundant. There is a proper safe system mechanism. In a military and naval, it is not possible to fly military aircraft with relaxed stability. So we do have a better maneuverability during combat and training flights. Redundancy. Redundancy is most of the early digital fly-by-wire aircraft had analog electrical or there is a mechanical or there is a hydraulic backup flight control systems. The space shuttle has a redundant set of 4 digits. So if it is only one flight control system, if there is a failure in that one flight control system, then everything is a failure. Nothing can be operated. So that is why there are multiple computers. So these backup computers run separately, develop with reduced function, right? Software high control systems. So that is all for today. So we have seen about the different flight control linkage systems. So one is the complete mechanical linkage systems with the different types, and then there is a mechanical with the hydraulics. Then the advancement is fly-by-wire analog, and fly-by-wire digital. Right. Thank you.
Like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.